Hi guys, welcome to this upload for you guys for your viewing pleasure here on Open Mic Night. I'm your host as always, Gavin. Slasher always gives you honesty towards professional wrestling. You, the viewers, will get to view that. And I can't stress you enough how much I am honest towards professional wrestling. So if you like honest take towards professional wrestling, you know what you should do. Hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon, so you'll be notified anytime when I do any uploads. And it's night time. I know I'm late doing this one. I'm going to be late doing them quite often towards AEW product. It's nothing against AEW, guys. Can't stress you enough. It's just now I've started a new job. My second shift burned me out. I was on for 10 hours. Didn't get home till 2 o'clock in the morning. And quite honestly, how to put it, silly old me. I wanted to watch Fyter Fest live, but I would have been an hour behind. Was going to hit the play button to watch it and fell asleep. But I caught up with it this morning on my day off. Like I'm going to say to you guys is, I'll give you my AEW reviews as and when I can, so I hope you can understand that. I don't set time schedules and all that lot to release them, because quite honestly, I don't do that sort of thing. Because quite honestly, I'm working next Thursday. I don't get home till probably about 9 o'clock, maybe. Pushing it. If things change, obviously the industry I work in. And end of the day, as it stands, my Monday Night Raw thoughts will go out some point. I'm hoping to give you my Money in the Bank, Worlds Collide, and SmackDown review on Sunday. Yeah, I'm hoping to do that Sunday, but I've got to get around to watching them. I'm hoping I've got energy to watch them. And that's just me being honest. I'll probably end up watching them on Sunday morning and then giving you my thoughts and opinions probably Sunday night on all three on all one upload. So, hope you can understand that predicament that I'm in. But anyway, let's just say this to anyone that is watching this. I sat through the 4 hours. I was really impressed. Tony Khan adapted to the situation AEW was in, putting 2 broadcasts for the price of one on one show. At least one thing, it didn't harm the time difference and so on, like he's had to do in the past. So I hope you can understand that. And he literally did so well, to say he's put Dynamite at the start and then obviously ended up with Collision. It felt like a free-for-view, but although it wasn't structured like a free-for-view. Free-for-view, to me, I call them, is like a pay-per-view, but it's free. So I hope you understand that concept where I'll call it that. I'm glad what he did, because it gives the benefit of the doubt to showboat what talent AEW has. And quite honestly, I was freaking thrilled with it. You literally had the first bit coming out. Will Ospreay sort of doing his in-ring stint towards like Swerve Strickland, what he did to him last week on Dynamite or Collision. I think it was Dynamite, because I don't get a chance to watch Collision. I think this is technically the end of this show was technically the first time I've ever get a chance to watch Collision. So he was talking about that, then the crew comes out, and then you literally got pretty much Leo Rush and Will Ospreay later on in the show, and I'm all for that match to be on that show, to be honest. Then we had a non-title match. Yeah, it kind of be disappointing that John Moxley's not putting the title on until All In, although he could have actually put the title on the line, even though he could have won it anyway. It would have been interesting to have that aspect, but obviously he's protecting his title for All In against Hangman Adam Page. With John Moxley, he taken on Mark Briscoe, and I tell you what, that was actually a good, solid 14-minute match. John Moxley got the victory. Who would have expected it? Then, Misco video package. You know, I love the way they've done this Grand Slam in Mexico promotion sort of style with CMLL. I love what they've been doing with it, you know, and that's how a working relationship should work, you know. And then Mercedes Moné's come out. She's got a steak dinner. She's meant to be on commentary, but all she's doing is sitting at eating a steak dinner. Then we literally had a women's tag team match: Toni Storm, Mina versus Julia Hart and Sky Blue. Toni Storm actually got the victory of this. I just want to say this: that was actually a good women's tag team match. I feel like AEW are teasing towards a women's tag team match. Titles. That it's living proof they can throw a two women together and it works really well. Same with Julia Hart and Sky Blue; they really worked well as well. So after that, we had Hurt Business come out. Simple fact was, we just had Hurt Business come out, and then then we literally had the way Kevin Knight, Spinball Mike Bailey, and Commander. I just want to say this: that's an interesting aspect to actually have. Teasing towards a match next week. I'm really looking forward to watching that. And then we had Rush, Mentos, and I can never pronounce the other guy's name. I do apologise. But I just want to say that was an okay match. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining whatsoever. Rush literally got the victory. So that's what I mean. It's like such an eye-opener on certain things. And then we literally had the likes of MVP and the Hurt Syndicate are back for about 2-3 minutes. MJF and that lot obviously challenging the likes of Spinball Mike Bailey, Kevin Knight, and Commander to basically face them next week. That's going to be an interesting one. Then we actually had Alistair, Daniel Garcia, and Paragon. That was not too bad versus Pariti. I can never pronounce it. It is what it is. Sorry, I'm not going to butcher names. Then Max Caster came out to the ring, did his usual spiel, saying, "Let's go, Max is the best wrestler alive." 5-minute open challenge sort of thing. And then Powerhouse Hobbs comes out. One part of the Trios champion. It didn't last that long. There's no point in it. It never gets old. This doesn't at all. Only lasted about 40 seconds long. To be honest, he's a goofball, Max Caster, since he's gone solo, and it is literally funny as fuck. Then we had the Fatal 4-Way with the International Championship between the champion Kenny Omega versus Brody King, Claudio Castagnoli, and a name I'm not going to mention because I cannot pronounce it. You know, that was actually a good 17-minute long match, and I was mesmerised how fantastic the mix of talent, how they worked together so well. You know, you wouldn't have thought such a mismatched bunch would work so well, and they did. You know, and fucking hell, that was just amazing Fatal 4-Way. And then we literally had after that, then we literally had the likes of Leo Rush versus Will Ospreay. You know, that was actually a good 9-minute match. and I was really impressed with that one as well. Will Ospreay got the victory on that one. Sorry guys, I'm just absolutely still shattered. FTR basically in a tag team match. I'm not going to even attempt to say the name, but yeah, it was an okay match, don't get me wrong. Then we have sorry, I'm trying to not sneeze. Then we had the likes of another fatal 4-way. Did we have another fatal 4-way? Well, technically we had the Don Callis family. Bandido versus Los Outlaws. We literally had that. That was an okay match. I'm not showing it justice to the point where I say it's an okay match, to be honest. It worked because of the way the format of the show was. Was it a risk doing the 4-hour show? No. Did it flow? Yes. Did I find it enjoyable? Yes. But then we literally had Penelope and Megan attack Anna Jay. Going to drop her off the stage. Then Ty Mello returns. That was an actually good way of bringing Ty Mello back. Let alone I know Harley Cameron was out injured due to her nose. But it was an interesting swerve the way Tony Khan's written Ty Mello back to save Anna Jay. You know, it worked in her favour because that was a good backup plan, what Tony Khan had put in place. You know, I'm really impressed how that actually happened. And then we had another fatal 4-way with for the ROH TV title. I feel like, honestly, what I could take from this was actually really, really good. We had Nick Wayne, who's the current champion, versus Sammy Guevara, AR Fox, and Lee Johnson. This was actually a really good match. I did enjoy this one. One thing I didn't mention before, obviously with the altercation in Kenny Omega match after the match, is now set in place with Kenny Omega and Okada at All In. That's going to be an interesting match to see after all these years. And I'm really, really looking forward to it. And then you look at the likes of Thicker versus Lady Frost. I want to say that was just technically a squash match. It didn't last that long. I wish they had a lot more to add to that, you know. But I'm intrigued to see where they're going with Thicker. Are they leading up to head towards the main title or the women's division? Only time will actually tell. And yeah, so we had RPG, Vice, Lance Archer, basically the Don Callis Factory versus Paragon, and Daniel Garcia. Wasn't that too fussed about that match, but overall, they did really well. To say they've actually put they had to put two shows on one show instead of changing the times and days and so on like that AEW's done for many years. And I feel like Fyter Fest has actually delivered. You know, I wish I could watch it live, but at the moment I can't. But I just want to say they delivered that really well to the fans. You know, it's mad to think they've had to do that, and was it a risk that they pulled off? I feel like they did. You know, job well done, AEW. Take a bow once again. But anyway, guys, I'm off. Sorry I kind of was a bit hesitant on some of the names and so on like that because I'm literally still drained. So I hope you can understand that. But anyway, guys, until next time, catch you guys soon.